Our score after 2 periods of the third-place championship game: Duluth Denfeld 1 and Hibbing 0. Saves in that second period. Rob Stauber had a total of 9. That gives him 96 for the tournament at this point. 124 the all-time record. Jim Monticelli with 12.
We send it back upstairs now to Paul and Herb for the third period. Gentlemen.
And Herb, you talk about adjustments to be made here. Would probably the number one thing be the fact of those short shifts you were talking about?
Yeah, no, there's no question, Paul. Hibbing's got to, just shorten up their shifts on the ice to develop a little better rhythm, put a little more pressure. But you have to give a lot of credit towards to the Duluth Hockey Club. Credit in the sense that their forwards are really making a very fine and aggressive and intense transition from offense to defense. They lose the puck, and they really go into their checking system with a lot of heart. And obviously they had to. They've kept a fine Hibbing team at bay for 30 minutes.
And remember, Hibbing is still on the power play with 1:30 remaining on the power play situation as Denfeld works it behind the net of the Blue Jackets. And coming up ice now, and it's driven back down in the zone as it went off the stick of DeChambeau. And the puck comes loose on the near side. We're down to 1:14 remaining in a man advantage. And moving it up ice now, that is Gaustad. Gaustad carries it in over the line. Gaustad with the puck. Denfeld is leading in the game by a score of 1-0. And it's loose to Schwartz, who goes to the point. There's a shot by Terrell. Gaustad, a rebound shot, a goal by Schwartz, as he gets his 13th goal of the year and the 3rd of the tournament. And it's a 1-1 game.
Boy, does that help Hibbing out to tie that thing in the first 45 seconds of play. And Schwartz stayed with it and found himself a big goal as he turned and fired that baby, and that thing rode high. Duluth lost their little man-for-man coverage that they like to have deep in their zone, and Schwartz just stayed with that puck as it was between his feet. All of a sudden it popped out, and Stauber was going down as the shot was going up. But you want to break the defensive coverage down into a man-for-man situation as best you can, and they lost their check a little bit. And Johnny Schwartz, a senior, was Johnny on the spot. Big goal for Hibbing. Maybe this is what they need to get him on track.
And we should mention also that at the end of the second period, when you saw the replay of Stauber taking the man down, they had called the penalty on Pearson previous to that little incident. So it was the penalty to Pearson that created this power play situation, and it was not a penalty on Stauber, the goalie. And it's moved up ice now. With it is Hardy at center ice, picked up by Stopness. Whistle, and play will be stopped. And with the score 1-1, this is Hockey 86 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Until this time, until this tape, you've never seen color this bold. A breakthrough in videotape technology. Color as if you were seeing it for the first time. The new Scotch EXG video cassette. Unsurpassed color. Guaranteed for your lifetime.
Featured at Top Tech and First Tech.
Wallers goes to the penalty box, and now it is Denfeld with a man advantage in a 1-1 game with 13:50 remaining in the third period. Anderson with the puck as he tries to work it up ice. Terrell trying to hold it in. Whistle, and it's pinned against the boards, and we'll have the face-off coming up.
That's a good opportunity for Duluth to get back in that game. Not get back into the game. Obviously they're in the game in a 1-1 tie, but to take that lead on this power play. The guy I would watch very close is that number 2, a junior center iceman, Mike Vukovic. He is flushed with so much confidence because he can skate and handle the puck. But what he has to do now is use the other people on the ice a little bit more. But that's a common fault of any gifted young hockey player, and that just comes with maturity. But he's got a nice career ahead of him.
Terrell picked up the only assist on the goal. That is Steve Terrell, his 29th of the year, on the last goal that was scored by John Schwartz in a 1-1 game. 1:40 remaining in a man advantage situation now as Monticelli looks out. Gaustad over to pick it up, turned, and he found an opening, and he cleared it. And going back, Denfeld to set it up with 1:28 remaining on the elbowing call against Pete Wallers. And it's set up at center ice, and it's played to the blue line. And a heavy check thrown over in the far boards by Hardy of Hibbing. And it's loose on the near boards as with it is Schwartz backhanding it out of the zone. As Stauber will knock it down. As we mentioned, Stauber had 96 tournament saves coming into the period here, and he could quickly move up the ladder. And we'll talk about that here in the third period. But right now there's 55 seconds remaining on the man advantage situation. Whistle and play will be stopped.
Yeah, that hurt Duluth, just that little offside. I don't know if Vukovic was off or not. 1 foot was over. He put it back, and I thought in time, but referee was right there. He had a better look than I did. These power plays are so important. Specialty teams are so important, and you know, during the season, obviously, but really takes on an added degree of importance in playoffs.
And it's set up now at center ice. That is Vukovic that Herb was talking about a moment ago. Trying to drive it ahead. We have 40 seconds remaining. Mike Vukovic, a junior, and he had 2 points in the tournament coming into this game. So far, he's been shut out here.
You got Duluth's forwards all standing still at the offensive blue line. No place to go. They should just regroup a little bit, get them on the move, and then dump it and see if they can regain it or enter the zone, you know, with possession. And Hibbing is playing it very well. They're just stacking everybody up, taking the alleys away and making pass into traffic.
Anderson went cross ice in the pass. 15 seconds remaining, trying to stuff it. Apps on the short side. It goes to Ingen. Cross ice, and there's a drive, and it's deflected to Apps. Apps with it, tried and did play it through Huseman. Went to the net, but it was poke checked away. Good job by Stoffness. And now trying to clear it, and back at full strength as Wallers comes out of the penalty box. Both teams at full strength here in a 1-to-1 game. And it's played up ice, and with it, Terrell hit over the line. Wallers as a trailer. Terrell with a drive, and it went wide.
He's got to hit the net on those shots. It's a pretty decent angle shot, and especially the way that young man can shoot a puck. Just get those shots on net. We saw a couple things last night, and even a couple winning goals. They were just of the very questionable nature, but they're on net, and boy, anything can happen then.
11:24 remaining in the third period, and moving it up ice now. Both teams at equal strength. This is Vukovic in over the line. Nice pass. Shot by Apps went wide. And it comes up ice now. Back the other way comes Terrell, and it's cleared from his stick. Trying to pick it up and carrying it in over the line was Pascuzzi. Shot there was blocked. Heavy traffic moving it in. Shot! Monticelli knocked it aside. As Denfeld with good pressure there in front of the net.
For sure, the game's picking up now, Paul. Now we're seeing a pretty decent hockey game right here.
And it was steered away as breaking in Schwartz along with Zabachnik. And that is Terrell trying to move to the net. As Zabachnik was there in front too, but now coming back. As you say, the intensity has picked up about 100% here, Herb.
A lot of it is because they're one-touching passes. Move the puck, get it up ice. That's a race to the offensive blue line, and the fastest way you can do is pass the darn puck instead of one man carrying the darn thing and slowing the play down. And that's what happened in both clubs. Move the pucks, get the tempo going. Now they're over-handling the puck, you end up in trouble.
And Gonstad picks it up and works it up ice. Down he goes. And the Hibbing bench wanted a penalty there, but no, there's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
People Express stops in New York. But our low prices don't.
You know, Paul, there's a lot of basketball in this game of hockey, and in basketball, you know, that movement of the puck and the people without the ball are moving into those holes and then giving it to them, that develops that little rhythm, and this is what we're seeing now. This is what should be done as much as possible. It's a very difficult game to play. I know I'm speaking very idealistically, but you have to strive for that idealism every shift.
And there was a drive by Anderson. It comes back out to center ice to DeChambeau. Here's DeChambeau playing it back in over the line, broken up there. We're down to 9:50 remaining in regulation time, and we're tied at 1. And up ice with the puck is Rue. Rue in over the line. He's got O'Brien behind him, and he went in on net, and Stauber made the save.
Paul, you see there how everybody in the Duluth team goes towards the net, Usually you'll say, well, I got a defensive forward, stay with your man. The 2D will pick up the other 2 forwards, and the last 2 forwards come back in your zone. They got point coverage. You might cave in the weak side to the slot, whatever. But to lose people, 5 guys go back. I mean, you see 5 from top of the circle all the way to back to the net time after time after time. Now, if Hibbing can regain some of those loose pucks, start moving to the point, they're going to really have some shots on net, but they haven't been able to do it so far in the game.
And let's see if there is some changes to be made in that area the rest of the way. And the puck is loose now as Denfeld will set it up, and it's played in the neutral zone. Waller's knocked it down, picked up by Sisto. Sisto will shoot it down in the zone as Monticelli watches it go by to Gaustad. Gaustad around to Pascuzzi on the far boards to Sullivan in the corner, back to Gaustad. 9:17 remaining in the third period. It's 1-1 here. Held in right out in front, trying to go to Stauber in the slot, but it was cleared by Wallers, moving up ice with Terrell. 2-on-2. Wallers with a drive, and that's blocked. Wallers dug it out in the corner, and he tried to go to the point, and he's bumped away from the puck, got up quickly, and it comes back, and it's held by Pascuzzi. Whistle, and play will be stopped. And with the score 1-1, this is Hockey 86 live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
You can take off, you can take it all in. You can be the best. You can see it. Blue skies fading tonight. Head for home where love is shining bright. Cavalier, America's best-selling car line. The #1 choice for people who know where they're going. Drive today Chevy. Live today Chevy. Cavalier.
A penalty was called there on Eliasson, and he got in a little bit too deep on the cross-check, so we have the man advantage situation now. With 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in regulation time, we have a tie game at 1. Girardi in over the line. Girardi with it. Theroux with a shot, and it was cleared from in front of the net as Anderson to the point. It was held in, shot tipped wide as Terrell fired it from there. And Terrell is out on the ice now as Hibbing will go back. Gaustad is out along with Roux and Girardi for the Blue Jackets. Also out is Schwartz as it is set up by Schwartz to the blue line, played away from him, and we're down to 1:25 remaining now on the man advantage situation. 1-1 the score. 47 seconds into the third period. Schwartz tied it for Hibbing. That is Roux who carries it in over the line. Right behind him is Girardi, who sneaks in trying to pick it up along with Schwartz back of the net. And Stauber is down, but it's picked up and controlled by Epps. Here's Epps moving it up ice now. Goes rink wide on the pass to Ingen, and he'll drive it in the zone as Denfeld has worked the penalty time down to 50 seconds remaining. 7:42 remaining in the period. And turning is Ingen with a drive. Monticelli knocked it down. And the rebound is cleared from in front of the slot. Terrell sliding it ahead to Huseman. Huseman in over the line. Huseman with Kasner. Kasner and Huseman. And it's back in a shot and a goal by Terrell. Nice goal by Doug Terrell. And for Terrell, it is number 11 of the year. And Hibbing leads it 2-1.
Well, one of the Duluth defensemen overhandling the puck a little bit, plus they got caught in a little bit of a change killing the penalty. And if you just bang it off to the side or get it up ice, you don't want to overhandle that, try to pull it by people. Cost them as Dougie Terrell stayed with it. Jump, loose puck came off to the right. He was Johnny on the spot. Just kept the puck moving.
Herb, you got to give a lot of credit, though, to Huseman and Kasner, who helped make that play.
Well, there's no question about it, but I just look at the situation again. If maybe in the situation of Duluth banged it, got it up ice, a little smarter change, and you got to, got to really watch yourself when the power play starts going against you, or you get out there tired. But you do have to give credit to the Duluth, forwards for staying with the puck and creating a loose puck. And Dougie Terrell can really put the puck away. As I said, he's just a sophomore. He's really got a fine future ahead of him. He's got good hands in traffic.
10th assist of the year for Huseman and the 9th of the year for Kasner. And it's a 2-1 game now with 7:13 remaining. And Sisto with it to Vucinic, and his drive is wide. Around the boards to the far side is Denfeld now in a situation of trying to play catch-up. Here's Wallers in over the line with Kasner, and it was poke checked away. Nicely done there by Pearson. Held in by Terrell. Terrell moving it right out in front. Tried to go to Kasner, who crashed into Stauber, and play is going to be stopped. 14,653 in attendance this afternoon. And there's a break in the action, and we'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
In April 1986, Minnesotans will have something new to cheer about. TCF is going public.
83,127 in attendance so far at the tournament here in 1986. Face-off coming up. Both teams at full strength. 2-1 the score. And the puck comes loose. Trying to hold the zone was Pascuzzi with help from Zabachnik. Back of the net, it comes to the near side. To the point, trying to hold it in, and it was cleared, and it's set up to bring it out as DeChambeau. And he moves it up ice, broken up just outside the line. Driven in by Moss and knocked down by Monticelli with help. Back of the net goes Pascuzzi and Gostev. And they lead it to Schwartz, and he can't knock it down. Terrell back and whistle, and an icing will be called.
Well, that power play goal for Hibbing is a big goal with 6:20 left. The timing is right. And now Duluth is going to have to understand that that puck moving up ice is very important. The quick shifts, one touch of puck. Don't just get into I, me, myself type of hockey, because Hibbing is a tough team to crack, as Duluth has been a tough team today. And I guess the reason for the low scoring game would be twofold, Paul. Number one, I think the forwards are hanging on the puck a little bit too much. And number two, give credit to the team without the puck. They're making a pretty good transition into their checking game, and they're tenacious and giving up themselves in a defensive posture. So those are the two things.
2-1, and the goals by Hibbing here, 2. As that young man looks on, he's got the best seat in the house right there.
Yeah,
he's not all
sure
crowded
does.
in, was he?
He's not too concerned. He's looking at all these people saying, what are they chasing that little black thing around the ice for?
There's a backhander by Pearson, and he made the save.
I think he's waiting for the Zamboni to come out anyway.
Probably dreaming someday, Herb, which is part of it, isn't it? Of donning the skates and playing in the state tournament.
He might be dreaming of being a Zamboni operator.
And we're down to 6:12 remaining here in the third period. And at the point, it's knocked down as Pearson tried to pick it up. Both teams at full strength as it's driven back in the Denfeld zone as the Hunters go back to set it up. Trying to hold the zone was Rue, and Rue almost accomplished that feat. And turning and driving it in over the blue line. Going back now to set it up is Hardy behind the net. Hardy around to O'Brien. O'Brien and Vucinic, and Huseman behind the net. Chasing it down is Epps on the far boards. And it's played up ice now with 5:37 remaining. And another icing will be called here.
You know, Paul, Duluth's forechecking has been very good throughout the whole tournament. They really play well as not a threesome. When I say the forechecking, as a fivesome, because their defensemen really understand what the forwards are doing, and they help out and they play off of one another, and they're able to, you know, contain, you know, the other team pretty darn good by the defenseman pinching down at the appropriate time.
And it's played down in the corner now with 5:28 remaining. And the puck comes loose on the far boards as trying to set it up. Wallers will chase it down. And we're going to have an icing call. And there's a break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
CCO radio meteorologists watch the weather for you 24 hours a day. Through sunny skies and snowstorms, turn to the #1 weather station.
As you see the save total and on Stauber, the staff and the crew here of WCCO doing a great job of updating you. We'll give you the totals as we progress through the period here. There's a shot. It was taken right out in front. Apps with a drive. Monticelli with a save. Heavy traffic in front. And it comes back to the point. Another shot is taken by Anderson. That's blocked and held in. Another drive, and that's blocked. Shot and a goal on the rebound. As Denfeld kept the zone, and they got 2 or 3 opportunities, and it's a 2-2 game.
All right, they had 2 or 3 opportunities prior to this goal because all Hibbing could do was just ice the puck, ice the puck, ice the puck. And the one guy that you really have to watch for, as I was just pointing out, is Mike Vukovic. You don't want to leave him loose in that offensive zone. And when the defensemen start going for the puck, left him loose, and all of a sudden the puck came to him. He had the short side wide open, and he could put it away. And there it is. Johnny on the spot. He buried that puck. There's no question about that. The defenseman thought he was able to control that shot with his foot and the stick, and he couldn't quite do it. It jumped right over, changed direction, and jumped right over to Vukovic. And there he was. But I'm saying in that situation, the defenseman, don't worry about the shot. Give the shot to the goalie. You take the man, and the man's going to be covering the goalie to take the shot, and there's no problem. But when a defenseman starts going out and trying to block shots and come up with loose pucks, if it doesn't happen, someone's left unchecked, and that's where all the trouble occurs, and that's just a case in point.
So we've got a tie game at 2 as the battle for 3rd place continues here. And it's driven back down in the corner now as Denfeld goes back. And it's played back of the net now, and covering up is Stauber. As Vukovic gets his 2nd goal of the tournament, as 1 assist was given on the goal to Anderson.
So you can't blame Monticelli on that situation. He's fixated right on that darn puck, and all of a sudden it hits the defenseman, goes way off to his left, and he's got to make a quick reaction. He couldn't quite get to that far post or get to the angle on it, and Vukovic just buried that baby. And he almost missed the net, however, because it just tucked it into that far post. But I'm sure he was a little anxious on it. He said, a big gaping net there in a 2-1 game with 4 minutes left or so.
Vukovic with his 16th goal of the year, and it's set up now. DeChambeau with it, and DeChambeau flips it in over the line, and we're down to 4:30 remaining in regulation time. And down in the corner goes Pascuzzi, and he is tied up. Whistle and play is going to be stopped. As we mentioned, Doug Long of St. Paul Johnson, 1971, 124 saves. And Rudy Lindbeck of South St. Paul in 48 had 105. Len Egan of Hill Murray in 76 had 99. And Peter Wazilovich in 72 had 97.
You might have remembered Peter when he played at North Dakota, Paul.
Pretty good career with the Fighting Sioux. Huh?
Small, quick, agile.
And we've got a tie game at 2, and it's played up ice now, broken up by DeChambeau as he goes cross ice to Anderson, and they drive it in, and Monticelli made the save. We are tied at 2, and we're down to 4 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in regulation time. As Rue picks it up, tried to hit the man on the lead, broken up, and coming back is Hardy, taking it away. Hardy back to regroup, trying to pick it up and trying to move it in. Sisto tried to get off a shot.
Boy, Hibbing got a break there without that call.
And moving it in is Girardi right out in front. Oh, he tried to go to the back end.
They're going end to end now, Paul.
And Stopnis tried to take a shot. And Denfeld trying to work it out of the zone. Now you would never believe they're playing for 3rd, would you, Herb?
They're playing for 1st right now.
Sisto with the puck in over the line, and the pass to Vukovic, and it was tipped in. Sisto to Vukovic to Stauber, I believe.
Well, Paul, I don't think that was tipped in. I think the pass from Vukovic over to Stauber hit one of the Hibbing defensemen and changed direction on Monticelli. He had no chance in that. Here we take a look at it right now as Sisto give a nice little pass to Vukovic. Vukovic is waiting for the man to free up. It did go off the defenseman, number 10, I believe.
Hardy.
Mike Hardy. It's a tough situation because he's got the guy set up right. He's trying to take care of the pass across. He wants Vukovic to shoot. The goalkeeper's got the shooter, and when the pass goes across and change directions, it's a tough one on that goalkeeper. We take a look at it again. That just bang.
And it's going to go to Vukovic, his 2nd in a row, and his 17th of the year as it went off the skate of Hardy. As it tipped toward the net off the skate. And there's not much you can do about that one.
The defenseman, the boy, Mike Hardy, played it right. he didn't charge over to leave, let open that man, even though he knew he had a back checker coming down that side. But what you should do when you're playing that situation, you don't know about that back checker if he's quit on you or he's stayed with his check. So you've got to say, I got to use my goalkeeper. I want to set my goalkeeper up for the shot. I'm going to watch. I'll transfer if he drives the net. But other than that, I'm going to watch for a little goal mouth type pass. And the goalkeeper knows what the defenseman is going to do. But when a pass changes direction, it's one of those things. I know Mike Hardy feels awful bad, but he played the darn thing right. Vukovic he had the right idea. But we've seen some odd goals this year.
Yes.
I'll never forget that one that Hill Murray scored against Richfield to really take the wind out of Richfield. Hitting Toomey in the head, go back, hit a Richfield defenseman in the shoulder and jump in. That's one of the strangest goals I've ever seen. And some of those things can change the game, turn the momentum around. In that case, I like Hill Murray, and I think they might win the whole thing, and they're my favorite anyway. But who knows? They don't score that type of goal. They might not get by a Richfield. And you can go back and look at that darn score and you'll say, well, wait a minute, it's 5-3. But, and Richfield scored late, but still, goals like that can really change a lot of things.
So far in this tournament, there have been no overtime games. There were 3 overtime games last year as we go back to 1985.
Well, there's 3:30. Hibbing short shifts again. Don't overhandle the puck. Stay within the frameworks of your systems that Coach Olson wants you to do. Move the puck around. You got plenty of time.
And Denfeld has taken a 3-2 lead here as it was played by Wallers back of the net. Trying to pick it up is Sullivan, and he's pinned against the boards as Terrell came over to play a check on the far side to bring the puck loose. Terrell with it, cross ice to Wallers, back to Terrell, and he batted at it to win in the corner to Huseman. Huseman to Sullivan, and whistle, and starting off there
was a high stick over the shoulder. They're going to bring him face up all the way down into the Hibbing zone. Right before,
looked like he was going to go off because of a penalty, and then he pulled up there.
Well, you got to watch what that call is for, and I've seen some crazy things happen like that. But right before the Duluth goal, they were lucky that, or Hibbing was lucky, they didn't get called for a penalty when Vukovic broke free and was really driving that net, and they pulled him down. The ref was there, but he says, I got to look at the score of the game and the time of the game. I understand that.
And there's a drive, and it was wide off the stick of Anderson. Back on the point pass to DeChambeau, working back of the net as Denfeld has a 3-2 lead here. And the puck goes behind the cage. 2:44 remaining in regulation time. Over to try and pick it up is Paskuski behind the net. On the breakout pass to Schwartz. Here's Schwartz moving it up ice, coming it over the line, and he pushed it in on Stauber. And he very casually covered it up, and he stopped the action.
That was a little change of pace shot, just a little wrist shot. And I think Stauber thought that puck was going a little faster, and he moved to his right too fast. That thing almost handcuffed him. Here, see Schwartz, bang, little quick wrist shot. Stauber moved a little, hit the inside of his blocker, and almost dropped between his leg and went in. And I tell you, Johnny Schwartz is hungry. He went for that rebound. Had not a whistle occurred, he might have jammed that thing home, but even though the puck went off to the side of the net.
Hibbing has only scored 2 goals once this year. Other than that, it's been more than 2, and that was against Edina. 3-2 the score with 2:30 remaining.
They got to reach him down and get one right now.
And it is Denfeld out in front as the Hunters try to pick up the 3rd place trophy here. Shot, and it's knocked down as it was fired by Rue, right point blank range. And moving it up ice now is trying to tip it in over the line as Stavnes had it, and it's played back up ice. As coming in over the line as Sisto tried to go off on the pass. That's turned away and back out to center ice as Vukovic with it, and he tried to get something set up. And it's picked up, and with it is O'Brien. O'Brien carrying it in, drive, glove save by Stauber.
Well, Duluth really plays a coverage in their defensive zone. If they're doing this by purpose, fine. But there's a way to counteract that Hibbing hasn't been able to do because they're overhandling the puck, and they're just caving everybody in towards the net, Paul. They got 5 guys from almost the special spots in half the time. And, Hibbing is just running into so much traffic. They get the puck to the point, maybe it can open the thing up. And that's what they're going to have to do in the last 2 minutes.
We're down to 1:48 remaining in regulation time as coming back is Pascusi. Back of the net on the far side to Terrell. Here's Terrell working it up ice with Wallers on the lead. Here's Wallers against DeChambeau, and that shot blocked by DeChambeau. Wallers in the corner trying to work it loose. Back on the right side, Pascuzzi with a drive, and Stauber the save.
Well, they had the right idea there, getting it to Pascuzzi and see if he can get a shot on net for some tipping and screening. And you've got to do this right now because I haven't seen too many defense zone coverage like that. And I said, if it's by design, it's not all that bad, but you have to make that transition to point coverage rather quick, and then have some people that are willing to sacrifice in terms of maybe blocking some of those shots and falling down on some of those shots. But you know, they've been getting away with it. They've been executing it very well, and they're winning the hockey game 3-2. So got to give them credit. But I like the way they forecheck, and I like the way when they lose the puck, boy, they get their head down there and they start those legs moving, and they come back and they get back on that puck.
And the faceoff coming up, Terrell to Schwartz, as Schwartz tries to hold the zone. We're down to 1:23 remaining in regulation time. Gaustad back to Schwartz. Schwartz with it, and the puck comes loose, turning, trying to bring it out. Now we'll look to see when Monticelli will go off, and he's going off right now. They pulled their goalie. Gaustad with a shot, tipped wide by Terrell. The net is empty, and it's cleared up ice. We're down to 1 minute remaining in regulation time. It is 3-2. Duluth. Denfeld is out in front, and the puck is loose now, trying to pick it up. And with it is Girardi moving up ice with Schwartz and Terrell. Here is Terrell trying to break through. He does. Shot. Oh, he fired it high. Schwartz trying to get off the backender. Terrell with a drive. And play is going to be stopped as the cage comes out of position.
Boy, that Dougie Terrell jumped up ice. That Hibbing defenseman moved that puck. He split the defenseman, and he's home free. He just couldn't slow it down enough. And he tried to go high. Stauber's coming out, diving again. He got by with it, but if Terrell would be able to have just a little more body control, if someone dives at you, you just shift and you pull it around him, and you're home free. But then again, you know, Stauber has done this time after time after time, so you got to say that he's got a good instinct there when to go and when not to go.
This has turned into a real good game, hasn't it, Herb?
Yes, it was a little ragged the first period, but I look at that because of the fact they're a little stiff and sore from the night before, and then they started loosening up.
And the draw comes forward. Terrell back of the net to his brother, to the point to Wallers with a drive, and it's blocked and knocked down. 30 seconds remaining as the puck comes loose. It's 3-2. Denfeld played back of the net. Around to Terrell in the far boards. 23 seconds remaining. And it comes cross ice, and that's going to come out of the zone. Moving it up ice, Vukanich, shot in the goal. A natural hat trick. A natural hat trick for Mike Vukanich. His 18th goal of the year, and Denfeld is going to take third.
You know, Paul, what I liked about Vukanich's play, he delayed coming out of his zone to make sure that the puck was out. He wasn't going to go for that empty net goal. He wanted to say, we got enough to win here, but I got to give myself up for the team. And he left at the right time and then jumped to the hole, got the puck, and it was all over. But he didn't come out of there until he made sure that the puck preceded him out of his zone. Then he turned on the Jets. A lot of young hockey players will go and look for that breakaway and say, geez, we're up. I want to get that open net goal. That's a little picking some cherries, and it looks good in the scoring summaries, but he was more concerned what he could do to help his team. And I think every scout in the building saw the same darn thing.
And we were talking with Coach Vukanich before the game, and Bill said, it's been nice to be here. And he said if I had one wish, or actually two, it would be that we would win the game, and number two, that my son would play a little better, which he obviously has done today. And there has been a change in goal, and the reason for this is Jeff Bennett has not played all year. So
that's a nice symbolic gesture, and I'm sure that the senior Jeff Bennett understands that, because, you know, Stauber is, you know, his colleague in goal is one of the real premier goalies, and I'm sure that everybody on the bench is happy to see the man gets a little playing time, and it's a nice gesture, you know, from the coaching staff. I don't care if it's 16 seconds or 16 minutes. The idea behind it's the important thing.
And I think that young man is an example for young people that maybe you don't get to play all of the time. Somebody has got to sit
But you can contribute to a team in a lot of different ways.
And hats off to you, Mr. Bennett. And the face-off, and the draw comes back as Duluth Denfeld is going to win their 20th game of the year against 7 losses. Hibbing is going to wind it up 22-4. And there it is, 3rd place in their first trip ever to the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. Duluth Denfeld as the Hunters win this hockey game by a score of 4-2 in what turned out, Herb Brooks, to be a good 3rd period.
Yes, it was a good 3rd period. The pace shifted. The tempo shifted. The line changes were shorter. The people were starting moving the puck up ice. They became a little bit more conscious of an overall team concept. And they weren't just I, me, myself. And they were trying to do too much themselves, each team, for 2 periods. But it was a heck of a 3rd period. And a very fine team out of Duluth beat a heck of a team out of Hibbing for that 3rd place trophy.
Yet on the other hand, Herb, I think you got to give some credit to Hibbing. After the tough loss to Hill Murray last night, they were down 1-0 here. They battled back today.
Yes, they did. It was a psychological rebound more than a physical rebound, because last night game it was a physical game, no doubt, but it was so close, and you know that you could be in that state championship game. It's tough to come back, but they did, and you know, they've got nothing to be ashamed. I know it's an old cliche, but I really mean it. I know you do, and I know all the announcers do, because it was a fine finish into an outstanding season they had.
And a very positive thing for the city of Duluth, for their young hockey players.
Oh, there's no question. You know, the first time they're here, and that can just, you know, spur the young feeder programs on, give some kids, you know, something to shoot for. And also you look at that line of Sisto, Vucinic, and Stava, they're all coming back, and so they want to be the catalyst again to say, hey, let's see if we can come here again. The secret, you know, the hard thing is going to replace their very fine senior goalkeeper, Robbie Stauber.
Well, you talk about Stauber. Bill, his brother, got his 12th goal of the year here in the tournament, and Vucinic got 3 and now has 18 goals on the season with the natural hat trick here. There's going to be an award presentation here coming up momentarily, but Herb, before we go down to pick that up, the biggie tonight, the championship on the line. We know who your favorite is, but the matchup.
My favorite is just because I pull for the team from my hometown. Everybody pulls for their hometown in these tournaments, and that's the way it should be. I think it's going to be a good, you know, a good hockey game, and I guess we'll get into that a little bit more in our pregame, you know, show when everybody and the staff sort of analyze the championship game. And but let's see if we can pick up this award ceremony right now.
And let's go down to the public address
the
announcer.
award ceremony, which will be conducted by Don Faulkner of Sandstone, President of the Minnesota State High School League Board of Directors, and 2 other members of the board, Ken LaCroix of Hastings and Mike Kuntz of Jackson. Each member of the official tournament squad receives certificates of participation. Plaques are awarded to the 4th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place teams. Medals are awarded to each member of the official squads of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place teams. And trophies are awarded to the championship team, the 2nd place team, the 3rd place team, and the winner of the consolation game. Will the captain or captains of the Hibbing team please come forward to receive their 4th place plaque? The 3rd place team receives bronze medals and a team trophy. We'll now have the awarding of the medals, which will be handed out individually as we call the players' names. Jeff Bennett. Dan Huffman. Scott Ivanovich. Steve Elsmore. Scott Pearson. Chad Postal. Chris Apps. Darren Matedich. Scott Engen. Kevin Moss. Tim Sisto. Scott Ritchie. Jason Francisco. Jerry Anderson. Mike Eliason. Mike Vukanich. Eric Winkleski. Jason DeChambeau. Bill Stauber. And Rob Stauber. Student manager Ken Johnson. And student manager Dan Landgren. Now would the captain or captains of Duluth Denfeld please come forward to receive the third place trophy. Congratulations to both teams. Repeating again, the welcome home for Hibbing will be at 2 o'clock tomorrow at the Lincoln Junior High School.
So there's the presentation, and our congratulations to Duluth Denfeld. And we should mention that Stauber, according to our stats, wound up with a tournament total of 107 saves. And that will put him second on the all-time save list for a tournament, behind Doug Long of Johnson back in '71 when he made 124. That's a lot of work, Herbie.
Yes, it sure is.
But I tell you what, there is a nice scene as you see Vukanich, the coach, walking off the ice, and they have to be very happy with the progress that they've made, and that will certainly help the hockey program there. Meanwhile, Hibbing, with their rich tradition, I wouldn't guess it'll be too long before they'll be back in the tournament one more time.
No, that's for sure. And they've got a nice young nucleus there, and they can build around that number 17, young Dougie Terrell. He's going to be just a heck of a hockey player, and he could have sent this darn game in overtime if he just had a little bit, better luck with the puck around the net as he broke free. But I've been impressed with some of the fine seniors. The goalkeeping has been excellent, and I've seen some outstanding underclassmen here in this tournament.
And we'll take it down now to Sports Control.
Thanks so much, Paul Brown, Herb Brooks, another outstanding job in this tournament. We want to thank both of you and look forward to seeing you both again next year.
Our pleasure to work with you guys.
You betcha.
Well, Tom, Duluth Denfeld in its first tournament appearance, going away with the hardware, as they say, a third-place trophy, and they have just about everyone coming back. They lose their defenseman in Stauber. That's a big hole to replace, but all their forwards but one will be back, so Denfeld certainly does have a great future. And Tony Parker is down on the ice with one of today's heroes. Tony?
Yes, sir. We're looking and talking to Mike Vukanich. You know your hat trick is the second fastest in the history of the tournament?
No, I didn't. I really didn't even, pay any attention to that. I had no idea.
That's the happiest third-place team I have ever seen, Mike.
Yeah, we really are. We're happy with our performance, and, it's the next best, well, actually the third best thing to being in the championship game.
You said to me before we get on the air about coming back next year.
Yeah, we want to come back next year. We feel that we're going to have a strong team next year, and maybe we can make it back again.
You guys were down 2-1. Stauber had to hold him, and somebody had to score, right?
That's correct. Robbie played just a phenomenal game. He's been just hot the past 12 games, and yesterday we had a letdown coming into the second period with Burnsville, and kind of happened again here, but we just threw it together and we came out on the top end.
Okay, when you hit that dressing room, you can also tell Stauber he has the second most saves in the tourney. He winds up with 107.
I'll be sure to do that.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You bet. Back to you guys.
Okay, Tony, they discontinued the all-tournament team years ago, Tom, but the unofficial one would certainly have Rob Stauber as the goalie of this tournament.
You know, everybody likes to see a different team or different teams in every year, and that's the reason why, because you get a club in like Duluth Denfeld, they finish third, they're so excited. It injects a lot of happiness into the tournament. Well, live from the St. Paul Civic Center, this is continuing coverage of the State High School Hockey Tournament.
To John Kaiser, who had 6 grand openings in 3 days, Republic Airlines awards the first-class upgrade perk.
He's earned it.
To Gary McKee, who had to laugh at the same joke 6 times, Republic awards the executive suite perk.
You've earned it.
And to Nell McCarran, who had to dress for success in 6 cities, Republic awards a free trip after only 20,000 miles.
I've earned it.
We make you feel like flying. Republic Airlines.
Recently, Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant sent its master chef Tomas to a new place to look for recipes. He has just returned. The result is shrimp chihitas. Tender shrimp sizzling on a blackened iron skillet, simmering in seasoned butter. You can even wrap them in warm tortillas. It's one of our many regional seafood feasts of Mexico, all at great prices. Chi-Chi's, reaching new depths to bring you great food.
Michael, it's time for your medicine.
The registered pharmacists at Kmart fill over 20 million prescriptions each year.
It isn't going to taste sticky, is it?
Professionals using brand name pharmaceuticals or generic equivalents were allowed.
Okay, I'm ready.
That's quality you can trust at a Kmart price.
Now, that wasn't so bad, was it?
Not bad for medicine.
You can't do better than Kmart.
The Twin Cities. Around here, when the day is done and frosty afternoons turn to dusk, the kids come home. It's time to settle in. And people turn to the best news of all. Fair, accurate, objective. That's the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Channel 4's Don Shelby, Pat Miles, and Dave Moore. Together, we keep the Twin Cities on top of the world.
Duluth Denfeld over Hibbing 4-2 for the third place trophy. We had a real explosive third period. It was 1-0 after 2. Hibbing got on the board early in the third period, 47 seconds to be exact. John Schwartz with his third goal, finally beating Rob Stauber here. The amazing thing about Hibbing, their leading scorer all year, Paul Girardi, was shut down, did not score a goal in this tournament. Take another look at it here. John Schwartz, this will make it 1-1, 47 seconds into the third period.
Well, 7 minutes later, the Blue Jackets took their first lead of the game. This, of course, tied it at 1. The puck was stolen deep in the Denfeld zone, you'll see here. And Cal Huseman passed it over to Doug Terrell, who had a terrific tournament, and he drilled it under Rob Stauber.
He's just a sophomore, Tom. He's going to be a great one.
Amazing. 2-1.
But Mike Vukanich then took over the offense for Duluth Denfeld. The Hunters in control. 5 minutes left in the game. The first of his 3 goals. Gary Anderson picked up the assist there. Mike Vukanich with a 3-goal hat trick this afternoon, all taking place in the final 5 minutes of play. That made it 2-2.
Second goal, which made it 3-2, and in a sense was kind of a fluke because it came off a Hibbing defender's skates, Mike Hardy there. But Vukanich gets the goal. He went on to score an open net goal to complete the natural hat trick, and Duluth Denfeld had that 4-2 win, and the second best performance by a goaltender in 15 years at this tournament. Rob Stauber with 107 saves.
Amazing. As Mike Vukanich said, it's the third best thing to the championship. They came actually within just a period of winning it all. As we look at the championship series, Denfeld losing a frustrating game to Burnsville last night, but they are the third place champions. Of course, Burnsville Hill Murray coming up tonight in our championship game. Duluth Denfeld, the third place winner, Tom.
That's right, 4-2 the final score. Well, of course, tonight we've been talking about it all day, a 7:35 start. But before that, our countdown to championship program starting at 7 o'clock, where we will look at every aspect of the title game. And we look forward to that as well. Well, viewers in the metropolitan area and who are cable TV subscribers will be able to see the tournament games repeated in their entirety on WCCO2 beginning this Sunday at noon. That's tomorrow afternoon. Consult your local cable listings or call your cable TV operator to find out about that.
Has some interesting features tonight in that Countdown to Championship series. Joe Sensor, who of course is working with us throughout this tournament, spent the night last night with the Burnsville Braves, following them around, seeing how they preparing for the championship game. Steve Doyle, in the meantime, followed the Hill Murray Club, and their reports will be included in our Countdown to Championship. And also in the championship game itself, between periods, Tom, I know you have a very interesting series coming up on the Mites hockey. I think the folks are going to want to see that. It's really interesting to see where, of course, the grassroots programs begin. So that's it for Tom Hanneman. This is Mark Rosen from the St. Paul Civic Center. We'll see you again at 7 o'clock tonight as we get ready for the Countdown to Championship, Burnsville and Hill Murray.
Hockey 86 has been brought to you by Twin City Federal, where Minnesota banks. Scotch, makers of high-quality magnetic media recording products. Tom Thumb, where you don't have to spend a lot of money to save a lot of time. Chevrolet, who invites you to live the style, performance, and fun of Chevrolet in 86.